Hey guys, what is up? And today is going to be a batch tutorial on making a text encryptor and decrypter. Now, a couple quick notes before we begin. There will be a link to all the code in the description below because there's going to be a lot of it. And secondly, yes, I know I could have made a text encryptor and decrypter in VBScript. I haven't covered much VBScript. I cover more batch than anything, so I decided to do it in batch. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is just set A equals 0, set B equals 0, set C equals 0, set D equals 0, and finally set E equals 0. Now, don't worry about the variable names because that has no correlation to the overall encryptor. And secondly, this will be a 5-letter phrase or word text encryptor. Now, you can add as many letters to be encrypted as you want, but keep in mind there will be a lot of code involved. But anyways, I will just make a marker for start and say set /PAA equals enter your first letter to be encrypted. Now, we are doing this encryption on a letter-by-letter basis because it's pretty easy to decrypt. And right after that, I'm just going to say go to A1. Let me make a marker for A1. And I'm just going to reference a variable essentially known as AA. So I'm just going to say if AA equals A set /A equals 1, and if AA equals B set /A is equal to 2. Now I'm pretty sure you guys get how this works. A is the first letter of the alphabet, and we are referencing the variable A as in the first letter, and since AA is the sort of set/P variable for A, we're just saying if that equals A, set A, this variable, to equal 1 because it's the first letter of the alphabet, and same thing goes for here since B is the second letter of the alphabet, A is equal to 2. And now I don't want you guys to sit here for a couple minutes of me just adding all 26 or 27 letters of the alphabet. I'm just going to cut the video right here. Okay guys, now that I'm back, I'm just going to say set /A equals A plus 3. Now you may be wondering, why is this line here and what's its meaning? I'll explain a little bit later, but right after this, I'm just going to say if A EQU or equals 1, set A to equal A. If A EQU or equals 2, set A to equal B. Now, I think you guys are going to kind of get where I'm going at, so let me just explain this a little bit more in depth. So let's say AA is equal to A, the user inputs A. So A right after is equal to 1. Right down here we're saying advance it by 3 character sets or 3 number value. So 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. Now we would have a line that would say if A EQU or equals 4, set A to equal D, because if you advance A by 3 character sets, you get D. So we're just going through a number system in order to reach that. Now I'm just going to have to do the same thing for the rest of the letters in the alphabet, so I'm just going to cut the video right here. Okay guys, now that I'm back, we've somewhat run into an issue. So let's say the user inputs Z. That's 26. Now we're saying add 3, so that would equal 29. But right now we have nothing for A to equal 29. What do we do? So what we're going to do here is just say if A EQU 27, set A to equal 1, if a EQU or equals 28, set a to equal 2, and finally, if a EQU 29, set a to equal 3. So these three lines sort of represent the sort of randomness and sort of confusion that encryption can have, and I don't want you guys to sit through here of me just typing this all out for each of the 5 letters, so I'm just going to cut the video to where we're pretty much done all the encryption code. Okay guys, now that we are done adding the encryption process to all 5 of our letters, as you can see right here, at the end of the 5th letter encryption code, we're just going to say go to final, and let me just make a marker for final, and we will just say echo and just reference the encrypted form of A, B, C, D, and E, or the 5 encrypted letters. Pause, and finally exit. Now let's just save this, open up our batch file, and let's just go for basic, or just to be basic, A, B, or my bad, I accidentally did something wrong there, A, B, C, D, E, and it's D, E, F, G, H. Now, let me explain a little bit of what I said before, how I accidentally put A, B. This encryptor can only handle 1 letter at a time, otherwise it will crash. Granted, that's how the code's been set up. So, we've seen that it works, but now how to decrypt D, E, F, G, H. Let me just open this up. So, it's essentially the same process. I'm just going to copy this code, make a new batch file, set the language to batch, and from here it's actually quite simple. So since we have in our previous form, or the encrypted form, let's say we hit Z, it would be 29, we are just going to have to add right here in our initial process of inputting the letter or the number and just referencing it to a number, we're just going to have to go if AA equals 1, set slash A is equal to 27, if AA equals 2, set slash A is equal to 28, and if AA equals 3, set slash A is equal to 29. And right after that, from this here, we don't have to really change. You can change it to clean it up. We're just going to say from plus to minus, and we are going to have to repeat this process for all 5 letters. So I'm just going to cut the video right here and do that. Okay guys, now that I'm back adding our decryption code to all of our letters. Now, granted, the decryption process I just taught you of how to turn our encryptor into a decryptor kind of has a little bit of unnecessary code, but that's besides the point. It's simple and it works. Anyways, let's test out. So I'm just going to save that, or it's already been saved. Open this up. Now, if you may remember, when we encrypted A, B, C, D, E, we got D, E, F, G, H, and guess what it turned out to be? A, B, C, D, E. Now, finally, let me explain to you how the encryptor or the encryption process works. Now, let me just scroll all the way back up. So we have a variable for every single letter, or in this case, all 5 letters. So letter 1, letter 2, letter 3, letter 4, and letter 5. Now, let's just take letter 1 as an example. So AA is the variable that we'll be using for input. So let's say the user enters B for their very first letter. So if AA is equal to B, set A, or our first letter, to equal 2. Now, when we scroll all the way down, we are saying right after our check process of turning the letter into a number, we're saying whatever A is. So in this case 2, add 3 to that. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And right after that, we're saying whatever A is equal to after that. So A is now equal to 5. Set the encrypted letter form of the original AA to equal E. And we do that for all the other 4 letters, and we come to our final encrypted phrase or word. Now, that will be the tutorial on how to encrypt and decrypt text in a bash file. I know this was a very long video. We had a lot of cuts because there is a lot of code. Again, I would like to thank you guys for sticking through. Please make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. And remember, all the code's in the description below. Thank you for watching.